This is the flower I painted, inspired with the leftovers on my palette. And I think this is a nice way to use your palettes for an inspiration. Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch, watercolor artist, teacher and a book author. Welcome to my studio. So let's find the center of the flower, place it somewhere here, and a small dot will make a pencil mark, and then I use my bigger brush. Firstly, I need to create a mix. I would like to start with vermilion. First of all, it's lighter than the other paints. I grab just a little bit of vermilion, dilute it, prepare dilute mix, then I wash my brush, and then I imagine how a petal can grow. So I just draw, paint an area for the petal. And then I use my diluted mix and add it into the painting. And then I use a bit of bolder version, less water. And now comes my favorite moment. You have a bit more creamy mix on your brush, and then you touch and just enjoy how it works. And maybe once again, to make this middle part, this will be the bottom of the flower. Now you can play a bit with just moving your paper in different directions. Can add a bit more of darkness and contrasts around. With the tip of the brush I can add some small accents. And if this is too bright, I wash my brush, I dilute it slightly, this mix, and add more. Some brush strokes imitating the veins. I can move my brush from bottom to top. I want to soften this border and add a bit more of orange. Like this. This is nice. Basically, I'm just enjoying the flow. Small accents. And then I dry it with a hairdryer. Now I would like to add something pink. Oh, my guess that I use Meadow Lake Deep, like this, with a mix of ultramarine blue. Always nice to have something to test. Think a bit more on the red side, maybe the same vermilion, very close. I wash a little bit my brush and paint another petal. I imagine that the stem will go like this. That means all the petals, they kind of hanging a bit down. It was a bit too bright. I wash my brush and I just soften the area inside with more water and correcting the shape. Remove some water with my piece of fabric, and let's repeat the fun part, this bold mix. Sometimes convenient to hold your paper with some angle, so it will let it all flow in different directions. And I keep an eye on this puddle gathering around, so I wash my brush, I dry it with a paper towel, and with clean damp brush I gathered that. It's already nice, and look how beautiful it looks on the overlapping part. I will add a couple of details to the top corner, just same mix, some drops. Now let it all dry again. Now I need to move more to the purple side, so I use just the same mix, Meadow Lake Deep with ultramarine blue, but I will stay more on the blue side. Same ingredients, different proportions. Does that look similar? Let's see. A bit more blue. Around this, I guess. Let's wash the brush. I will place this petal on the top of those. Sometimes it helps to imagine a stem. And then that will tell you where to place the petal. Clean brush with just a hint of color, just to make it easier. And I draw the petal basically with the water, very watery mix. And then I water in the surface inside. Add my diluted mix. And then the fun part, bold, comes. I lift my paper a bit to create the flow, to set up the direction of the flow. With the tip of my brush I can help to set up the direction, and also I just move my paper and enjoy how it all works by itself. And again, I have an eye on this puddle and I remove it with clean damp brush. I try not to interfere much, but I already like how all these layers are working together, and dry it with a hairdryer. 3 petals are ready. They all look nice and beautiful with these over sections. I think I will add one last petal to the bottom part, and I would like to go back to this orange. I already have it. Get a bit on the tip just to see where I'm going to paint, and I would like to bring one petal more to the bottom, about this. Cover it with I have very diluted orange mix here, so I cover it with my brush, and then bold vermilion from the middle. Absolutely awesome feeling. That's why I love this technique so much for these moments. And add a bit more of accents to the bottom. Moving my paper in different directions so everything flows. I will try out one more thing. I still have my purple mix to add some touches of purple, very delicate. While this area is wet, I can delicately mix them. So the flower is almost ready, and while it's drying I will finish it with a stem. And for a stem I will use just the same paints, but very bold. Grab them bold. Why not to use black? It's absolutely fine to use black. I have a liner. This is a brush with a bit longer bristle. So I get my mix. Have a look how it will go. Set up my brush into the middle and then quickly move down. I want to draw a little bit of nice underneath of the flower, small triangle, small bold triangle, and then I bring it to the stem. For the stem, I think it will benefit if I make it a bit brighter. So I move my brush, but I'm not reloading my brush, so at the end it will turn, it will dissolve in the paper. So this is the flower I painted, inspired with the leftovers on my palette, and I think this is a nice way to use your palettes for an inspiration. Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope you enjoyed the process, and I am looking forward for your ideas. What would you like to paint next? See you soon! Bye bye.